Shadowbringers, it was the revelation of like ending one of the trailers with the Hydaelyn, the oldest and eldest of primals, or Endwalker showing off Mari Lamentorum or whatever. It's
Endwalker didn't it? They teased Elpis, but they didn't name it.
Yeah, but they didn't name it, so it looked like it was like
a
treasure map. Like we couldn't tell what it was.
Yep,
it looked like like there was art. Like in hindsight, we look back and it was right in our face.
Oh yeah,
but
clearly
we didn't know what we were.
Well,
seeing.
and you see the dead ends too in the gameplay trailer. Like you can see the beginning of the dead ends. So
they're only spoilery once you know they're spoilery.
Right. The context matters.
If a new player is watching a trailer and Twitch chat or whatever goes, "Oh, that's a spoiler for this," the chat was the spoiler, not the video, because they didn't know what they were seeing. And actually, it's what makes it fun for those of us watching. When you go back and you start the game and Alice is sitting next to you in a wagon, like they're just messing with you. It doesn't ruin anything. You just think it's some Elizin or whatever.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, there's just a person next to me. And so like it doesn't mean anything until you have the context. So they're super good about like, I told you what would happen. You just didn't know how to listen.
And the thing is that they're walking a tight, a razor's edge here, where you do still want to show things that excite people, right? Seeing Solution 9 this early has my brain racing, wondering, I'm excited, so it is like this, like how much do you show versus how much. And I would just say that of all the people I can think of, all the companies I can think of, they've done a really solid job for a long period of time at balancing that.
I agree with Infinite. It's super cool that they're not just like, and the surprise was something you didn't know because we didn't tell you. It's like, no, like the surprise feels really genuine because you're like, oh, I should have known. Like the t-shirts, right? Yoshi P's t-shirts. Like in hindsight, it's so easy that I love that they like throw it right in our face. And then what that does, that causes us to like scour over everything and go, is that the surprise? Is that the surprise? Is that the surprise? Because we know
I'm so happy it ended up being Pictomancer. I am so happy.
I'm so glad it was Pictomancer. I was wrong. I didn't think it would be Pictomancer. I thought Pictomancer was high copium, but I was totally wrong, and I'm so glad.
No, I mean, my copium is Time Mage and will continue to be Time Mage every single time. But then I was like, it just Pictomancer is like, feels like it's so obvious. Like and it's cool because it's also such a unique job in the history and lore of Final Fantasy, because Final Fantasy VI is such a great game. Like it's so good. And just like hopefully maybe people who haven't checked it out can go check it out via the Pixel remasters. That's actually something I've been doing. I have the Pixel remasters. I've got them on Twitch and on PlayStation, and if they come to Xbox, I'll get them there too. I have a problem. Somebody.
One day I'll play through 6.
Stop you. Yeah, totally. As someone who just recently replayed through them, I have to say it is really, really worth it. I will say my appreciation for 5 grew immensely playing it 20 years later.
See, I've already experienced a moment in Final Fantasy IV where I was actually choked up a little bit because as a parent and an adult, like there was the conversation between Cain, like talking about why Cain followed in his father's footsteps. I was like, and I was like, oh. And then I was like, as a kid, I'm like, all right, just kind of playing the game. And I think I remember the story. So it's going to be fun to kind of rediscover these stories, but having a massively different perspective on life.
Coming back to a place at a different point in your life. I'm just saying it's a helpful thing.
Every 5 years, I notice there's like just a little bit of resistance pulled off of the waterworks. Like I just cry that much easier. So like every birthday, I just cry a little bit easier. It's getting to the point where sometimes like a commercial is long enough to get me. Like I'm like that 45-second story arc just totally connected. I'm like, I'm weak.
Well, I love it. Guys, this has been a blast. We're at our hour time. So for those of you who are watching or new, we try to keep these around an hour. We feel like that just seems to be a much more easily, enjoyable chunk of time, especially we're all busy, with life and things like that. But our goal for 2024 is to do more of this. And so if you guys like this on Friday at this time, we hope that we can be your, Final Fantasy Square Enix RPG nerding out podcast for the Fridays, whether you want to join in for the live show or if you want to check this out as the VOD. And if you are watching this as a VOD, if you had a good time, please hit that like button and sound off in the comments. YouTube really likes that. And as a reminder, I'm going to try to make sure that all of our podcasts are chaptered out so you can easily jump back into the conversation that we have that are very organic. But that's these show plugs. I want to go around the horn. Let's start with Chili. Where can people find you? What you got for us?
You can find me over Mooglegram Radio on twitch.tv/Mooglegram Radio. We do a podcast every 2 weeks, kind of based on Final Fantasy, if we stay on topic, but probably not. So mostly Final Fantasy and Final Fantasy 14 related. Though, of course, with the period that's happening soon, it's going to be interesting to see how we're going to cover anything between now and when Dawntrail comes out. Please look forward to it.
It'll be very creative, I'm sure. You come up with something cool.
I stream Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. My co-host streams Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So yeah, thank you.
Let's go with you, Elio.
Yeah, so you can find us over at the Origin Archives on YouTube. That's mainly the big thing that we have. We have a sister channel, Final Fantasy 14 Archived. If you want to check out, basically, our Ray, our mod, goes through and collects all of footage of things that you can only do one time. So like Tribal Quest, a lot of those cutscenes, like you can't like review them, and makes these lovely little bite-sized videos that are easy to digest in case you missed it or just don't want to do Tribe Quests for some reason.
Chris,
guys, I'm right here. I'm working on I'm trying to get things lined up so I can take on some bigger projects come Dawntrail. One of the big steps of that is reorganizing my office and structuring it so I can take on some cooler filming things. And so I've done the most destructed portion of that. And so hopefully each Friday you can feel this just get a little better. As I slowly do this. I can tell you, like right now, it's hard to get out of this chair because I moved so much stuff this week that my back hurts, as the other sign of getting older, that my whole back is on fire, probably because I lifted with just my back in a jerking, twisting motion, taking my legs totally out of the equation. I felt it the moment it happened. The moment I knew, it was not like, oh, you lifted too many things over the course of a day.